Global Marketing Strategy, Mark 7018, Lecture 2, Deciding Which Markets to Enter, Part 3, International Market Selection. Transnational Segmentation. Move towards a micro-segmentation approach. We should not generalize about a country. We need to compare the North, South, East, and West regions as separate entities. A country as a unit of analysis is too large to be of operational use. Examine on basis of decision maker, not the country. Segmentation by geography leads to national stereotyping. Basis of segmentation include variables such as value systems, demographics, psychographics, and behaviors. Micro-segmentation subsegments. We should not generalize about a country. We need to compare the North, South, East, and West regions as separate entities. Demographic economic factors, lifestyle, consumer motivations, value systems, geography, infrastructure, buyer behavior, and psychographics. Micro-segmentation, Mosaic Global. Secondary research is an example of an existing geodemographic database. Mosaic Global, a single consistent classification providing insight and understanding on demographics, lifestyles, and behavior. 88 million people surveyed, based on worldwide cities sharing companies' patterns of residential segregation, mapped by country and across the 29 countries in which it operates, 10 Mosaic Global types: sophisticated singles, bourgeois prosperity, career and family, comfortable retirement, routine service workers, hard-working blue-collar, metropolitan strugglers, low-income elders, post-industrial survivors, rural inheritance. Micro-segmentation, which product, service. This matrix illustrates how we can decide where to go with products and services. Matching product output with markets, we can hone in on a country and decide which segments we would like to focus on. The big picture, a funnel approach. We start at the top of the funnel looking at the world market as a potential market. We then decide to narrow down to Western Europe, 6 Western European clusters based on transnational clustering. Further screening with internal criteria seeks synergy between new potential markets and own strengths and competences until we narrow down to a specific city and target market customer group with our 4P marketing strategy. Systematic versus pragmatic approach to IMS. A systematic approach is not always realistic. In SMEs, a pragmatic approach is preferred given less resources. Firms are often evaluated and chosen by larger firms. Pragmatism leads to firms choosing customers and markets with similar backgrounds to decision makers. Often comes down to management feel. Designing market expansion strategy. Enter markets slowly, incrementally, in stages, or simultaneously. Consider the mistakes made by Tesco Fresh and Easy case study in California. Will entry be concentrated or diversified across international markets? Consider the mistakes made by Tesco Fresh and Easy case study in California. Incremental versus simultaneous entry strategy. Incremental, waterfall approach. Experimental. Enter a single market to build up experience or in face of strong local competition. Enter wealthy countries at first, less wealthy upon price drop. Familiarity and experience acquired step by step, small firm with limited resources, risk adverse. Simultaneous or shower approach, all at once. Leverage core competencies and resources rapidly. Commitment to rapid international expansion. Seize an emerging opportunity. Achieves economies of scale in production and marketing. High operating risk. Expansion strategies for SMEs. Strategy for expansion. Product market segment, where competencies give it competitive advantage. May evolve incrementally, one market at a time. Learn from one market and apply the same niche in next market. Develop international operations. Consolidate, earn profitability. Move on. Concentration versus diversification. Concentrate resources on a limited number of similar markets or diversify across different markets. Concentrate on entering countries similar in terms of market characteristics and infrastructure to the domestic market, or diversify risk entering countries differing in terms of environmental or market characteristics. Expansion strategies for small, medium-sized enterprises. Consider an incremental approach by launching your key product A, followed by product B, then product C in a pre-exporting low-risk mode. Then move into market 1 and market 2 in early exporting mode, followed by established exporting, intermediary, and then in a hierarchical mode. Expansion strategies for SMEs. In this matrix, we compare the concentration and diversification of the market customer target group on the horizontal axis with the country on the vertical axis. 1. Few customer groups, segments in few countries. 2. Many customer groups, segments in few countries. 3. Few customer groups, segments in many countries. 4. Many customer groups, segments in many countries. Ideally, we would initially focus on Block 1 and possibly expand our reach sequentially to Block 2, 3, and 4. Diversification versus concentration. Different factors come into play when deciding on diversification versus concentration. Company factors, acceptance, aversion to risk, growth objectives, market knowledge. Product factors, specialist, general use, volume, repeat, non-repeat purchase, stage in PLC. Market factors, small, large segments, new, mature markets, low, high market growth rate, competitor concentration. Marketing factors, low, high communication costs, low, high handling costs, low, high physical distribution costs, standardized, adapted communication.